recording. Welcome to the Shine Tribe weekly call. Tonight we have an amazing guest speaker, and I am super excited to have her kicking off the month of October. Larissa she's a fellow Aero Tribe girl, hey, and she is a diamond coach. I've gotten to know her a little bit at some of Becca's leadership retreats, and she is just so cool. She is someone who I'm inspired by all the time. She runs an amazing team, Radiant and Free, and she's been so authentic in sharing her story, working on her own transformation and building trust with people in such a real way. And I asked her to share with all of us her experience with the Ultimate Reset. And I'm sure she's going to talk a little bit about what the Ultimate Reset is. But it is a program that I kind of personally had been writing off for a while at the beginning of my journey. Just like, oh gosh, that's like ridiculous. Like I would never, be able to commit to something like that. But over the years, I have just been drawn more and more to it. And I'm actually trying to figure out a way that I can do it while I'm breastfeeding. But we'll see. The jury's still out about that. But I really wanted Larissa to share her experience with it for a couple reasons, guys. Because first of all, as coaches, we should know what kind of tools that we have available to us from Beachbody. And this has been said to be the most powerful program that Beachbody has. And so I don't know about you, but I want to know about this program, if it is one of the most powerful programs that Beachbody has. Because when I talk to other people and they're sharing with me their struggles, I want to be able to say, hey, I know a program that can help you out. I want to know about what this program can do for people, and I want to be able to offer it as a solution when I'm talking with people who could really use it and benefit from it. And then on the other side, I want to know about this program because I want to know if it can help me in my life to live better and be healthier. And I am pretty convinced that it will, and that it is one of those programs. So anyways, without further ado, I am going to turn it over to Larissa, and I just cannot wait to hear your story, girl.
Awesome. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Hey, Shine Tribe. Thanks so much for allowing me to speak to you guys tonight. This is such an honor and a blessing to be able to share the most passionate about. It's a program I thought I would never try. And I also thought I would never be able to complete 21 days of the Ultimate Reset. And it's actually because of my own coach, Renee, that I decided to try the Ultimate Reset. She had done it herself and was leading from the front. And it really inspired me to just give something completely different a try. My goal for this call would be for just my story to really inspire you to try something new, to try something you never believed you could accomplish, to help instill within you the spirit of the overcomer as it relates to any area of your life in coaching and business and fitness, where maybe you have some negative habits or thought patterns that exist, and that you can just have the spirit of the overcomer, and to help inform you on how crazy, amazing the Ultimate Reset actually is. So I do want to start by sharing a little bit about myself. As I was thinking about this call, I figured I could share with you the delicious recipes that I learned to love and crave while going through the Ultimate Reset. But the facts and the plans are something that you can research even more yourself, and I'll even guide and direct you in how you can do that. There are 5 Facebook groups available to you on Facebook that give you so much detailed knowledge about each different phase and step of the Ultimate Reset plan. So for now, I hope that you have your yoga pants on and maybe some water in your Shakeology, and you're just ready to hear my story. And I hope that something in it inspires you in an area of need that you might have today. So where did I start? Well, about 7 years ago, I gained 50 pounds in college, my freshman year. And I shouldn't say even in that year, it was more of like the freshman 50 within just a few months. I was going to school for teaching. I was navigating a really stressful major, adjusting to living life on my own with endless food options that allowed me as like a sugar-driven chica to continuously overindulge at all hours of the day and the night, from just snacking and eating late at night and even a lot of stress eating. And I really also struggled with binge eating at the time. I was gaining weight like crazy and I had no idea what to do. I was busting through my pants, literally busting through my pants and my jeans. They were like ripping at the seams and I thought it was the dryers at college. But I had a rough reality check when I finally saw that number on the scale and was completely horrified by what I had seen and just what was actually going on inside of me during that stressful time. Now, I was struggling really hardcore in college with the emotional eating and trying different diets. I don't want to like bash on diets, but I tried, counting points, counting calories, all those types of things. And it seemed to only make my issues worse. I even sought out counseling and help and just guidance from people I trust to speak wisdom into my life. And traditional counseling didn't really work, help me get through some of these food issues that I was having. I didn't know how to get out of these just negative thought patterns and this vicious cycle of defeat that I was experiencing over and over as I continued to try and fail. I did find Beachbody though while I was in college, and that was probably one of the highlights of my college days. I started attending a live Turbo Kick class. If you've done Turbo Fight or Turbo Jam, it's a live class. It is simply amazing. And it reinstilled within me a love for movement and for working out. And if you've ever done one of Shalene's workouts, you probably, know what I mean by her classes are just so exciting. It can get anyone excited about health and fitness. She's just simply amazing. But in college, I was too self-conscious to keep going to the classes just because it was in the live format. And I figured, hey, there's got to be something that I can do in my dorm room, close the door, turn off the lights, close the blinds, and do it by myself. And I found Turbo Jam on Amazon. I didn't even know Beachbody existed at the time. But later on did find Beachbody when Turbo Kick was released. I accidentally signed up as a coach back in college. So this is like 2010, and like randomly ordered Shakeology and was introduced to Beachbody. It was kind of like a surprise blessing, a blessing in disguise, truly. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I knew that this could be some kind of tool for me. And it was like a little glimpse of hope. I was really thankful to God at that time that there was something that I felt like I could do, that I could stick with and I could figure out, even though I was still struggling. So if we fast forward a few years, I graduated college in about 2012. I was still doing Turbo Fire and Turbo Jam, but I hadn't really had any results yet. Even though I was drinking Shakeology, I hadn't put these pieces together that Beachbody now has laid out for us so well. So I graduated college, and on that same day, I drove down to Florida. I always dreamed of living in Florida, and I actually got hired as a teacher the very next day after driving down to Florida and graduating. So it was this crazy whirlwind of things that were happening to me. I was really struggling with my career choice and my career path, but I knew that for some reason I was supposed to move and live in Florida. I was still really struggling with my weight and still really struggling with this really negative overeating habit that I had, and I didn't know how to break free from that habit at that time. I moved to Florida and I did live by myself. I started as a teacher at a really hard school with really hard students. I was working over 12-hour days and going through the McDonald's drive-thru, drinking my Shakeology for breakfast, but still going through the drive-thru in the evening and drinking, eating like a carton of ice cream each night just to kind of cope and soothe myself from all of the stress that this profession had put on me as a new teacher. And some days, when I could work up the energy out of my sugar-laden like buzz, I guess, I tried to push play on my Turbo Fire workouts. And I even dabbled in coaching a little bit. I had a digital camera and was taking photos of my Shakeology and posting my digital photos on my Facebook page, thinking somebody would follow me, even though I was still like, I had no idea what I was doing. No one followed me at that time, but that's okay. But eventually things really did start clicking for me. And it was during the summer after my first year of teaching was over that I was able to finally rest in the Lord, and just have physical rest and start to really focus on my health and try to figure things out. I actually did start losing the weight and keeping it off, and I was focusing on God more and really fixing my eyes on Him to help me through this struggle and realizing that I didn't have to live in this cycle of defeat. And through that time, I actually started following my own coach, Becca. If you guys are familiar, I'm sure you're familiar with Becca Robinson. I started following her journey, and I don't recommend this, but I left the team that I was on because like I told you, I'd randomly signed up with Shakeology. So I left and joined with Becca to kind of put all these pieces together that I really needed to help me figure out this food thing and this fitness thing. I just knew it was what I needed. I needed that accountability. I needed a challenge group. I didn't have challenge groups at that time. I didn't have all those tools that I needed to be successful. So I joined Becca, which was an awesome move for my life, and it helped me go into a new trajectory of life. Now, since that time, I've lost about 40 pounds, and I've kept it off, which has been fantastic. And one thing that I've learned throughout this journey is that once we reach our goal weight or even our goal, we're not automatically healthy or happy or fulfilled, and we're not immune to the previous struggles that we've once had. Even if we've started working through struggles and negative habits have ceased, if you're really struggling with sugar or something like that, it doesn't mean that that's going to be gone forever just because the weight is gone. But I learned that the less I engaged in those really negative habits, the more freedom I experienced. And it was easier to maintain that freedom that I knew God was calling me to, and just continuing to break free from that emotional and stress eating and that overeating that I was going through as well. However, if you've experienced a health and fitness journey, which all of you have, I'm sure you know that there's at least slight ups and downs along the way. We, have holidays and vacations and just times when we're less dialed in and focused, and that's completely normal. And that's definitely been a part of my journey. I've lost 40 pounds. I've kept most of it off, but there have been what I like to call blips along the way, where maybe you kind of lose sight of that freedom, or you forget how to maintain that freedom, or you forget how to maintain victory in a certain area. And that's totally happened to me, because throughout this journey, I've had killer results. I was at a really amazing place before I got married a couple years ago. And then I got married. I bought a house. I started a new teaching job, a new grade level, all in the same month. And I was a coach. I was, walking the walk, but that was a time in about 2014, about 2 years ago, around this time of the year, where I started to gain a lot of the weight back really quickly and really slip into old habits and not be mindful. I pulled away from personal development. I pulled away and started to kind of live in that sugar fog a little bit. And it was just a really negative place for me once again. And I didn't know what to do to get out of it. I was so stuck in this stressed out teacher lifestyle for about the past kind of 2 years of my coaching journey, and kind of dabbling in the old habits that I used to live in, of just kind of using food to kind of help me cope and deal with the stress of my job after school. But I knew I didn't want to live there. So that kind of takes us to this past year and where I'm at now. And it is honestly all thanks to the ultimate reset. Of course, I believe God is my ultimate savior, but so when I say the ultimate reset saved me, I don't want that to be confused. But the ultimate reset was an amazing gift, an amazing tool that has totally helped save my journey. It has helped save my health and fitness. And I am so grateful for this creation and this invention, because it literally has saved my coaching career, and it has saved my own health and wellness, because I feel like without this reset, this internal reset, the physical reset that the Ultimate Reset has given me, and the mental reset that the Ultimate Reset has given me, I would not be here as a coach today. I honestly think maybe I would have slipped away as a coach, because back in May, I was still kind of struggling with my nutrition. It was the end of the school year, and I was with my students eating bowls and bowls of Lucky Charms on cereal day. I had ordered the Ultimate Reset and was thinking in my head, okay, I can't lead anybody. I can't help anybody. I'm such a mess. I bought the reset. I was planning on returning it as I was eating these bowls of cereal. And I had a conversation with my husband, thinking that maybe even quitting coaching was something that I should do, because I thought, oh, this is all too much for me. I can't do this. I'm stuck again in this cycle. But I remembered my why. I remembered my team. I remembered how amazing this journey has helped me feel. And for some reason, I decided to just give this crazy Ultimate Reset a try as kind of like my last attempt, in a way, my last chance of getting my act together. Now, I'm someone who really struggles with like the containers. It's hard for me to be contained, just because I struggle with that like restrictive mindset in a way. And some people, that is totally fine to eat out of those containers. And for them, that's kind of like, freedom with food. For me, that's been really challenging. So to go on a plan like the Ultimate Reset was something that I would absolutely never, ever do or never consider. But I'm so thankful that I did. So, and I forgot to move down any of my slides to show you guys. So I'm going to go down. This is me in college. And this is me over here. The swimsuit one is me as a first-year teacher, when I was just literally going through the drive-thru, eating ice cream every evening. So we'll move onward. So June came, and I began the Ultimate Reset. I've never really completed a program to a T, but I decided to go full in with this program and just see what could happen for me and how it could change any area of my life that it could. If you decide to try the reset, or even if you don't, you need to join the 5 Facebook groups, because I followed those groups continuously before actually deciding to purchase it. And it really helped me understand the Ultimate Reset, and it helped encourage me and prepare for it mentally before I jumped in. So when I started the Ultimate Reset, it took a lot of preparation. I had to prepare in advance. I had to cut back on caffeine. I had to cut back on sugar. You could jump into it full force without doing any of those things, but I wanted to make it as easy and gentle on my body as I could. Otherwise, you experience even more detox symptoms during the Ultimate Reset. So I prepared in advance, weeks before I jumped on in, by cutting out caffeine. I was really struggling at that time with PCOS. If you are not familiar with that, it's just a hormonal thing where you have really irregular periods. And I was kind of desperate to regulate my cycle and start feeling better and develop a lot of mental strength and find this second chance with nutrition. Now, during the Ultimate Reset, it's broken into 3 phases. So when you're going through the phases of the Ultimate Reset, the first week is a reclaim phase, where you're kind of reclaiming everything that's happening on the inside of your body, and you're slowly taking out things like chicken and eggs and dairy, just to start improving your digestion and getting your body ready for a detox. I expected that part of the reset to be absolutely horrible for me, just because of the inconsistent healthy lifestyle that I had been living and this stressed out, caffeine driven teacher lifestyle that I was living. But it actually wasn't that bad for me. If you talk to somebody else, they might have had a really negative experience with the first week of the reset, but mine was actually a really positive experience. I did experience a lot of backaches and body aches, headaches the first couple days. But if you're drinking a lot of water and you take a lot of Epsom salt baths and you just rest a lot, you're going to be okay. After you kind of get through this initial fog that you might experience, you kind of come out of a fog and you start having this renewed internal energy, this energy where you're waking up refreshed in the morning, even if you haven't slept a lot. And you'll notice your energy is a lot more sustained throughout the day and maybe tired in the afternoons or pretty early in the evenings is what I noticed. But everyone's journey is a lot different, especially during the first phase. And you get to eat a ton of carbs during the first phase of the Ultimate Reset. With the whole diet mentality that I really struggled with, I really struggled with carbs. We're all taught, like, honestly, Weight Watchers taught me, like, carbs are bad, carbs are bad, carbs are bad. So to me, to eat lots of rice and beans and lentils and tempeh and lots of fruit was extremely scary. It was scary to put down my Lucky Charms full of cereal and eat real carbs, which is kind of ironic. But I did experience a little bit of bloating, which is totally normal. So you might experience that because you are drinking a lot more water and you are eating a lot more carbs. But everyone's first week is different. I'm going to show you my next slide. This is where I started for the Ultimate Reset. Not my best before photo, but kind of, you know, a photo that just represents where I was at in June after kind of having a rough school year of teaching. And the photos that you see on the other side, those were like my mid Ultimate Reset photos during what you would call phase 2, which is the actual detox phase of the Ultimate Reset. During the detox phase, you start to eliminate some more food, so you're completely vegan. And if you're someone, maybe you follow like a paleo template or something like that, that may scare you a little bit, but there are a lot of people who, you know, had a more ketogenic or paleo template who've done the Ultimate Reset and have gone towards that more plant-based vegan lifestyle, and they've still seen amazing results. And for me, it wasn't necessarily about the weight loss. I was looking to have something to kind of revive my heart and soul for fitness and just revive me as a coach and help me feel better and more confident from the inside out. So that is about 10 days in. I didn't even notice the changes. There was other people who were telling me like, oh, you know, your skin is starting to glow and like I can see a difference in your legs and things like that. And that was just getting me really excited. Like, wow, nutrition is such an amazing and powerful tool, and eating healthy just tastes amazing and it feels awesome. And you will literally find during the first and second phase that you are craving healthy food, which is incredible. You start to crave vegetables, and I am the last person to crave vegetables. I am the first person to crave ice cream, to crave Quest bars, to crave Arctic Zero, those things that I would call like Franken foods that are like fake foods. Those are the kinds of things that I would go to during the school year that I was fueling myself with. And it is amazing how your taste buds are literally reset during the Ultimate Reset. Now I'll take you a little bit further. There's phase 1, 2, and then there's your final phase, your reclaim phase, where you're reclaiming, I can't remember the name of it. It's not reclaim. Maybe it's revitalize or restore. They're all with R's. But in the final phase, you're eating only plants and plants, so fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats, which was really scary to me at first because I thought I was going to be starving. But you are eating tons of food during the Ultimate Reset, and it's all about listening to your body. And if your body needs more, you eat more. If you need less, you eat less, which what to me was so freeing because on some plans, you know, you have to really stick with a certain amount, but for this plan, it's really teaching you to be so in tune with your body through conscious eating, eating slower, being more conscious of how food is making you feel throughout the day. And you can always add chia seeds and avocado in bigger portions if you need it. And to me, that was just so comforting to know, like, okay, I can eat more if I need it. I can really listen to my body. It's kind of like a higher level of thinking when it comes to nutrition. Like the containers and the plan that we have with Beachbody is so solid and amazing, and it's an amazing tool. The Ultimate Reset is like a step above that, I think, in like mindset towards nutrition and being like conscious and aware of what you're putting in your body. So when it came to the end of the Ultimate Reset, I was down about 9 pounds. It seemed in the groups that people were averaging losing about 10 pounds if their body needed to lose weight. Your body will naturally release the weight if it needs to be released. If you're already very fit and you're eating like really healthy and clean, your body might not have as much to release during the reset. So you can't judge your success. When you try this, don't judge your success by that number on the scale. My success was measured by the internal things that happened to me during the Ultimate Reset is what I really want to touch on now. Because the plan is just simply amazing and you will see and feel results, but you need to understand this internal change that is happening to you and through you during the reset. What happened to me internally was that I developed this new, like, overcoming, the spirit of the overcomer is what I like to describe it as. I took this as a mental journey, and I really engaged in personal development during the Ultimate Reset. I read a book called Made to Crave, which is one I really recommend if you're struggling with like craving things. It really taught me just to, you know, focus my cravings on God. I read another book that I would recommend. It's called Brain Over Binge, if that's something that you struggle with, to really help you through that mindset. Another book on the brain that I was reading through during this Ultimate Reset was How to Switch On Your Brain, which I'm really passionate about the brain, in case you can't tell, and really overcoming negative thoughts. So those are fantastic books to go through as you're going through a detox like this, because you don't want to only detox your body. It's so important to work on that mindset as you're going through this. So I really developed this new, like, I'm unstoppable mindset during this. Like, I can do all things. Like, everything I do can prosper. And that was this mindset that I developed through the Ultimate Reset. I also broke my caffeine habits, my mindless snacking habits, even eating mindlessly. I'm someone, I could come home from work and just snack all throughout the day. The conscious start and stop of eating in the Ultimate Reset really helped me with that. It really helped improve my skin. I have extremely dry hands. By the end of the Ultimate Reset, my hands were a lot softer. My husband's like, wow, your hands are really nice, which was a really nice thing. And of course, you know, I tightened up and toned up, not necessarily toned up, but just like slimmed down, I guess, during the Ultimate Reset. And it gave me such a passion for nutrition, a passion for fueling my body well, and being more specific about what I'm eating, when I'm eating it, and realizing that if I'm at a party or a holiday, I don't have to eat what everyone else is. It's totally okay if I pack my own snacks. Like, I don't have to let people pressure me into having a slice of cake if I really don't want it, and if it doesn't align with something that's gonna feel good for my body. Now, this program really helped fuel me forward. After the Ultimate Reset, I automatically started the 21-day fix, and I completed that right away. And then I jumped into 30 days of hammer and chisel. So it was this beautiful compound effect of success in my life where I was not seeing that before. I was jumping around program to program, start, stop, restart, try again, fail. That's the cycle that I was in throughout the past few years in my teaching career with my Beachbody programs. I was not being a finisher, and the Ultimate Reset helped me with nutrition, but after that helped me jump in full force to completing more programs and being the best product of the product I can be. And that has helped my business. It's revived my business. It's revived my passion for my business. It has attracted more people to me because they are believing what I'm saying. It has made me more engaged with my challengers and more confident in helping my challengers and realizing that I have an awesome tool. Now, you'd probably expect that tons and tons of people came to me and wanting to try the Ultimate Reset. That was not my experience yet, but it was a really good starter for conversation because this program is definitely not for everyone. You really have to be ready for this. This is not necessarily a starter program, but it opened up really good conversations with nutrition about with challengers and with potential ladies that I could work with, and helping them figure out what their true need was and giving me more awareness of nutrition and being able to speak life into their nutrition and into their cooking skills, because this program will literally equip you with amazing cooking skills if you are someone who struggles with that, which is totally me. I was horrible in the kitchen before the Ultimate Reset. So I'm going to show you just a little bit about some of the reset basics that I touched on briefly. You already know kind of my story, my struggle, and why I dove into the Ultimate Reset. And you have seen a little bit about my results. But some of you might be a personality where you're like, I've got to know all the details about this program if I'm going to jump into it. And it is something you really do need to plan ahead for. Like I said, it's 3 phases, it's 3 weeks. You're going to be taking a complete break from workouts, which may seem crazy to you. I'm someone, I could always skip rest days. My body was really overtrained, which could also contribute to a lot of the ups and downs in my weight and how my body was not really responding to some of the workouts and things I was doing. But you can go on light walks, you can do stretching, you can try the yoga retreat, but you might find that it's a little too intense. So you can kind of modify things, but don't do a program during this. Your body is literally doing so much work from the inside out. You do need to drink a gallon of water a day, which becomes easier and easier. And if you are someone who's working like me, your body will get used to the amount of water, so you don't really have to worry about the bathroom too much. I'm a teacher, like you guys know, so I have to kind of time my bathroom breaks. It will be hard at first, get someone to cover you at your job, but it will be okay. Now, you don't just drink any kind of water. It's actually, and this is something you could do for your own health and fitness now. You could drink distilled water, but you have to add 1/4 of a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt into it, which is called Mineralize in the Ultimate Reset, and that adds the electrolytes back in. It's supposedly, I've done some research on it, it's better for you than purified water. For whatever reason, it kind of takes out those harsh minerals that are in water, or the harsh metals that are in water. You do drink a shot of Power Green, so if you're someone who's adding that to your Shakeology, that's something that's a part of the reset plan. You get these little packets and you take a little shot of it every afternoon, and it tastes horrible at first, but by the end of the reset, your taste buds actually probably will like this, which is really surprising. It's like miraculously what happens to your body during the Ultimate Reset. You do have a ton of other supplements. I honestly don't know everything that they do besides reading off the bottle, and I'm not going to bore you with that. But you take different supplements throughout the day. So it's the food, it's the break from workouts, and you get this amazing guidebook that will literally tell you what to prep for the week, and it will give you like a day-to-day plan for what to cook for each of your meals. And you can even kind of pick and choose. And for those of you that are super busy, there is like a reset and a crunch plan. So it gives you some recipes that are a little quicker to make, or to make in bulk for the week, so that you can do this if you're someone who has like a really busy lifestyle. If you have a lot of kids, you need to cook, bigger meals for your family, or whatever your situation might be. So I still live out of this book. Even post-reset like this, it was worth it just to have this book so that I have meals for my lunches and dinners on a regular basis. It's seriously amazing. You probably will experience some detox symptoms during it. You might be really tired, emotional, crabby. You might feel weak. But those things, they come and they go throughout the day. I have some highs and lows throughout the day as I go. But just trust the process. Not all of it is glamorous, but how you come at the end should be glamorous. And you do need to prep and plan your meals ahead. Don't go to a party or to a restaurant without some kind of plan in place, because you do want to do the program with fidelity and not just fly off on the seat of your pants or whatever that saying is. So all in all, that's the ultimate reset in a gist. This is where I started when I moved to Florida by myself back in 2012 as a Beachbody coach, but a Beachbody coach without a team, without support from an upline, without a challenge group, before challenge packs existed, before the ultimate reset existed. This is when Shakeology was first launched. And I can't remember the programs at the time, but I was doing it all by myself. I was trying to figure this thing out by myself. And the other photo, that's me now. That's me post ultimate reset. Of course, this is years later. This is about 4 years later. The journey has taken time. It's taken trial and error. It's taken a lot of overcoming of negative habits and continuous work to maintain my victory, my healing in the area of overcoming emotional eating, stress eating, binge eating, those kinds of things. But it's definitely a journey that's worth it. And the Ultimate Reset is definitely a program that can help you if you are struggling, if you need to be revived with your health, with your fitness, if you need a break from workouts because you're burned out. This is something that you need to try. I am crazy in love with the Ultimate Reset, so much that I'm actually doing it right now. This is my second round. I'm starting phase 2 tomorrow, so I'm starting day 8 tomorrow. And I will probably do this program at least once a year. You can do it 4 times a year, so that's why I'm doing it so soon, because you can do it quarterly. It's just such a good way to kind of reset yourself, refocus yourself, get yourself in order so that you can overflow and pour into others in the areas that they need help with. So I know that was a lot. I hope that it made sense. I hope that there's something in it that inspired you. And also just a word of caution about my story. I know there's some sensitive things I mentioned in the area of food. I only want the things that I share to encourage you and not to, like discourage you or to make you think you have an issue or a struggle or anything like that. That's not my intention at all. But my intention is to recognize that there is an area for you that you really struggle with, that I want my story to fuel you forward, to encourage you that where you are at, it does not have to be that way. You do not have to continuously struggle. Your challengers don't have to continuously struggle. And I want to speak life over you and your challengers in that area. So that's all I have. I don't know if I didn't see the chat at all to see if there were any specific questions for me or specifically about the Ultimate Reset as a program.
Thanks so much, Larissa. This was so good. Guys, please put your questions in the chat if you do have them. I just was taking a ton of notes while you were talking, because it's just, I love what you said at the end about filling your own cup so that you can fill others, so that you can give to others. And I think it's just such a good reminder for all of us as coaches, because we come into this business wanting to help others and needing to get our own lives in order, but sometimes the helping others becomes more of a priority than taking care of ourselves. Mm-hmm. And I know that whenever that happens for me, my challenge groups suffer, my posts aren't very good or inspiring, like no one is attracted to me, I'm having a hard time connecting with other people, and it's because I'm not getting back to the root of what I need to do, which is take care of me and my own health. And then that just naturally spills out. I mean, I can just hear it in your voice how much this program has changed you and just how much you love it. I mean, it's obvious. You're not trying. You're not faking it. It's just coming out of you. And so I think for all of us, that's just a great lesson to take to heart. So I'm definitely thinking of doing it myself. I'm actually have been researching modifications for breastfeeding and how I can make it work for me. And I am planning to do it before the end of the year. What would be your recommendation? Would you say to try and fit it in like probably before Thanksgiving, so it doesn't fall like on a holiday? Mm-hmm. And then I also know that with the Ultimate Reset, it's 3 weeks. But then the 4th week, you don't just go back to eating like you would. Like there's kind of like you do the detox and then you kind of gradually get back to sort of a normal eating. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
I'm so glad you brought that up because I totally forgot to touch on that. Because the Reset is a fantastic program, but honestly, the most important part of the Ultimate Reset is what you do afterwards. And I can't believe I forgot to touch on that because as part of my story, I'm someone that I'd do a program, like I do the 3-day refresh, and then I'd get awesome results. And then afterwards, I would literally like ruin my results in a week because I just literally go back to old habits right away. Or especially in college for me, when I was doing Turbo Fire, I do Turbo Fire and then I'd go off, the wall with nutrition and gain everything back and some in this yo-yo fashion. And like, that is not the heart of the Ultimate Reset. It's not a diet. It's not, something meant to restrict you. It's not something that's supposed to be like a temporary quick fix. It is resetting your lifestyle. It is a full commitment, which is why it was hard for me to try it in the first place, knowing that, okay, this is like a really big commitment. It seems daunting to give up certain foods for quite a while, like 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, depending on what it is. So after the reset, what you do, I'm trying to see if I have a good visual. I don't have a good visual with me, but the 3rd week I mentioned you're eating fruits and veggies, and that there's the 3 weeks of Ultimate Reset. If you go to the 4th week, you're no longer taking the supplements. By that time, your little box is going to be all empty, and there is a guide in here that kind of helps you see what you should slowly start adding in. The key is to go really, really slow because your body is going to be super sensitive. You've just taken out so many foods. You've been taking these supplements to kind of like prime your body. So your body is running off of less fuel, less food more efficiently. So you can't just start throwing a whole bunch of junk in. You will literally feel horrible. People in the group would go eat a burger and a shake and all this afterwards. And like the things they were posting about how they were feeling was just miserable, like sick for days. And that is just undoing all of your hard work. So there is a plan. You need to slowly add things in, but it's different for everyone. So the hard thing about the post reset is the plan is not extremely specific because you literally have to be so in tune with your body. So you'll slowly start adding in things like legumes and grains, in very small amounts at a time. So maybe like a half cup of rice with your lunch. You'll kind of eat your reset meals or like reset type meals. You can put your own spin on them, but you'll slowly be adding in a little bit of carbs. And then you'll see how your body responds after a few days. You'll have to pay attention to your sleep, your digestion, your skin. You'll be paying attention to your energy levels throughout the day. Like, are you getting an afternoon slump? The idea is if there's a food that's like a trigger for you that's causing some type of inflammation in your body or some kind of negative response, or maybe it's a food that's triggering cravings or something like that for you, you want to take it out. Some people have realized they're sensitive to dairy through the Ultimate Reset, and they've been living their life with chronic allergies. And now that they've done the Ultimate Reset, they're completely clear. So might as well, like dairy's not serving my body well anymore. For me, I learned that caffeine does not serve my body well, even though I absolutely love caffeine. I was not sleeping at all. I was getting like lines in my forehead again and even more circles underneath my eyes. And I wasn't sleeping at night at all. So you literally like learn what foods serve your body well and what foods no longer serve your body well. So you can you use that, what I mentioned earlier, that higher level of thinking, like, okay, is this worth the physical side effects? And I don't want the physical side effects to like scare anybody. It's not a scary thing. It's an empowering thing of being aware of how food is really making your body feel. And I had a lot of sweets. If you guys followed Vanessa's Diamond Retreat the past couple weeks, that was like the most sweets I'd had. And after doing the reset, that was like a shock on my system. I woke up like Sunday morning at the Diamond Retreat in a complete fog. I wanted to just go home and lay in bed. And I was like, oh man, like this food tastes really good, but this is not fun anymore. I felt so awful. So I learned, like, it was a learning experience for me. Like, okay, like these foods do not really serve me well anymore. So yeah, you basically will kind of slowly phase back in grains, dairy, eventually get back to meat. So as far as timing wise, that's tricky with the holidays. I would probably recommend your first time not to be during this time of the year. For me, I'm doing it this time of the year right now just because it's October, so I'll have plenty of time to phase in before I have a little bit of turkey on Thanksgiving. But for doing it your first time, I probably wouldn't recommend doing it now because I wouldn't want you guys to be set up for more like stress than it needs to be during this time of the year. I would want to, of course, encourage you first to have a healthy holiday season. And the reset could totally do that for you if you're someone who's like really desperate for a change. But you do really need to focus on that post reset and give yourself some time. So after the holidays might be a better time for you guys to do it, maybe as a team if you're thinking about doing that.
Yeah, I was looking at possibly starting like in 2 weeks on the 17th of October, and it would give plenty of time before Thanksgiving. Because I know for me, well, okay, so a few things. I know for me that even though, you know, I've been struggling a little bit trying to get back into my fitness routine since having the baby. I know that when I did the 21 Day Fix Extreme, just the fact that it was so hard and I knew going into it that it was going to be a challenge, I almost went into it like, let's do this, you know, like with so much more intensity and focus. And I actually did better on the 21 Day Fix Extreme than I was on some easier programs because of my attitude and the way that I was approaching the challenge of it. And so I almost feel like the Ultimate Reset is kind of something similar. And you kind of mentioned that where you go into it so like you've got to be prepared and you've got to have things ready, and you know that this is going to be a challenge, but the fact that you know that makes you rise to that challenge and
exactly
bring in, you know, something stronger. So yeah, I think I am definitely going to. Personally, I'm planning to go through it, and any coaches on my team who want to do it with me, I would love for us to do a group together. I would love for us to go through one of those books. What were the books again that you were talking about?
Made to Crave is a really good one. I still listen to it on audiobook just because there's so many like nuggets of wisdom and truth. And it's by Lisa, Lysa. I can't remember her last name. It starts with a T. But it's so amazing. The other book I really like is How to Switch on Your Brain. And I mean, that can really be applied to any area of life. It's all about thinking about your thinking and literally unwiring thought patterns that you have so ingrained in you and replacing it with truth. So for me, it was always, I can't eat healthy. I'll always yo-yo. I'll always struggle and overeat crazy amounts of food, and rewiring it with, no, like I can get results. I can maintain my results. I can eat healthy foods. I can like eating healthy foods. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. In a nutshell.
That's good. That's so good. Well, thank you so much, Larissa, for sharing. I know that it's been really helpful for me, and I'm excited to do it myself. I know I've seen so many coaches, and I've been in this for enough time. Like, you've been in it for a few years, and I see so many coaches who kind of like, they're consistent, but they're kind of like up and down, up and down, up and down. And whenever they do the ultimate reset, it's like a line in the sand.
Yes.
Their whole fitness journey just rockets up and takes it to a whole nother level. And so I personally, whether I start it here in October or in the new year, I personally am super excited to see that happen in my life and to have that as a tool to give to other people who might be struggling as well. So Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I call it the reset glow. Anyone who does the reset gets the reset glow.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for being on the call, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.